Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to another Pickacard reading. So as you can see, this is not actually a Pickacard reading. You are going to pick one of these 4 plant flower essences, and when we get into your reading, I'm going to be using a different deck for each group, and I'm going to shuffle as I go and just share some messages with you and just say some things that I feel guided to say. So we have group 1, water violet, group 2, oak, group 3, agrimony, and group 4, star of Bethlehem. So at this point you can pause the video if you want to meditate on each group, come into stillness, take a deep breath and just center yourself, and when you're ready I will see you in your group. Hello group number 1, welcome to your reading. So for those of you who chose water violet flower essence, this is your reading. Now when one is drawn towards water violet, this can be an indication that it is time to have deeper connections with others and let other people in, and allow yourself to have deep connections with the people around you. Because typically, if one is drawn towards water violet, you may be very independent, very self-reliant, someone who's able to just do things on their own. But this can go too far in one direction, and you may end up shutting people out and not letting yourself connect with other people, and having those scenes play out that need to play out. So that is what this one is about. So I'll leave this here. Let's get into your reading now. So I'm just going to share some messages with you that I feel guided to share. Let's see what this plant medicine wants to tell you. Alright, so we have Make a Wish, Empowerment, Celebrate Differences, and Expansion. And I'm gonna stop shuffling there. I feel like 4 is enough. Okay. Even though you are someone who is able to get things done, on your own, you are very capable, very able to do what needs to be done. It's very important to... Sorry, these cards are so wonky. I don't know what is going on. It is very important to, ensure that you are not expecting the worst of people, that you are actually, because sometimes it's easy to get to this place where you are expecting people to do things on a negative side, and then because you're expecting that this is what enters your reality, or this is what they will do, so it's almost like this self-fulfilling prophecy that's playing out, but you are actually contributing to this by projecting that type of energy into the interaction or into the situation. So definitely there's a need to be much more positive, to expect a positive outcome, and to be mindful of your words, because whatever you speak will manifest in your physical reality. Even if it's just something you're thinking or something you say as a joke. I'm not going to give any examples, but there's many jokes that people use these days, whether it's written or... Sorry, just moving my flower essences. Whether it's written down or whether they're saying it in a conversation and they're laughing, but we cast spells with our words, so it is really important to be very mindful of what we say and how we say it, and also the intention behind our words. So definitely being very deliberate, and also incorporating certain rituals into your spiritual practice. So let's say whenever it's a full moon, if you write down what it is you want to release, and then you can speak this out loud, or during a new moon, you can actually, you know, write down a list of the things that you're wanting to bring into this new lunar cycle, because new moons are for things that we want to grow, right? So the idea is that when you set your intention on something at the new moon, or when you know, write something down, focus on something, this is going to grow, and you'll see this progress taking place some way, somehow, between the new moon and the next full moon. And full moons are for releasing. So this is a good time to declutter, you know, not just your space, but your mind. You know, we have to be sure to pay attention to, you know, the junk and the gunk that is building up in the mind. So, you know, this is also our home. You know, the body is our home in the same way that our physical home is our home, you know. So just paying attention to all of these various things. But I just feel guided to let you know that, you know, there's a need to pay attention to your words, you know, especially if maybe you are someone who kind of a very intense character, or someone who has a very it's someone who's very influential, someone who has the ability to influence others or affect the moods of others easily, things like that. And again, this is not good or bad, this is just something that is. So such people can just, you know, pay attention to their own energy and make the choice whether they want to be on the positive or negative side of this type of way of being. Because, you know, words can be used to empower yourself and to empower others. So, you know, what are you speaking? How are you speaking? And what are you focusing on? You know, with this Make-A-Wish card, every word that we speak has the potential to be an affirmation. You know, in every moment we are creating, and at any given moment you can make a wish. You can, and this is the number one here, I've just noticed. So this makes me think of the Fool card in the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, you know. So this is like new beginnings, because, you know, in every moment we are given the opportunity to start again, to create a new beginning, to create something totally brand new on the canvas. You know, so forget about what happened yesterday and all of that stuff. You know, every moment is another chance to start again. You know, so rather than dwelling on the past and fixating on things that you've done wrong recently, or whether it was a long time ago, just focusing on, okay, how can I move forward from here? What do I want to happen next? What do I want to focus on? Where should my energy be directed at this time? Because we have this expansion card here, you know. So make sure you're not blocking your own blessings by having this negative self-talk take over. You know, empower yourself. Use your words to assist you as you know, navigate this physical plane. And, you know, if the idea of expansion is scary to you, because for some reason looking at this card makes me think of like a fear of heights, or someone with a fear of success, some type of fear, some type of blocked energy, right? We can always change the story. So for example, rather than, you know, reaffirming something by saying, oh, I have a fear of heights, or I am this, I am that, change the story and say something else. Create a new story, and then this is what will unfold. You know, but if we keep redundantly telling the same stories again and again, then this is the story that will continue to manifest. You know, it's very common to end up manifesting things we don't want, and this is because we're always creating, but we can either create consciously or unconsciously. And I feel the message for you I need to say is, make sure that you're creating consciously, and that you are really thinking about what you're doing and how this affects, you know, your external reality, and how your own behavior patterns and the words that you speak and the rituals that you do, how these are moment to moment creating your reality. You know, also, you know, if you are someone who does like to be, you know, by yourself, and you maybe find it hard to connect with others. You know, not being so hard on yourself. You know, we're all different expressions of the divine, and this Celebrate Differences card is really an invitation for you to celebrate all the things about yourself that do make you different, you know, because you are here to be yourself. You are a painting of the divine, and the creator makes no mistakes, so there's nothing wrong with you. You know, I just feel like the focus is on changing the narrative and changing the story to a more empowered one, because you can go anywhere, you can do anything, but there does feel like some kind of blockage. This could be to do with the throat chakra, because my throat, my chest was feeling a bit funny. So this could be, you know, this fear of showing up as yourself, this fear of maybe speaking your truth, maybe feeling like you won't be understood, or that people just don't get you, but your tribe are out there. You just need to kind of make yourself known to them and be your authentic self, and then they will find you. If you're being someone else, they can't find you, because they're looking for you, not who you're pretending to be, if that resonates. Another thing I'm seeing here is travel. So, you know, for those who feel like where you currently are just doesn't resonate with you, the people, the environment, all of that, there may be travel that needs to take place. So for example, that the people you are destined to have deep unions with are not in your immediate vicinity, so there's some degree of travel required to kind of connect with those people, you know, whether this is now or, you know, sometime in the future. I can definitely see travel, a lot of expansion, a lot of connecting with other people and like-hearted souls. But you have to trust that this is possible. You have to trust that, because the thing I'm getting is that there's something that wants to come in that you may be blocking because you don't believe it can come in. You don't believe that it is on its way to you. One analogy I like to use is, you can imagine that the things that you want, they have been dispatched from the warehouse and they are on their way to you. And if you want, you can kind of do this exercise daily, or every few days, or every week if you want, and really imagine that whatever it is, this thing you're trying to align yourself with, that it is in transit, that it is actually on its way to you, not just kind of nowhere. It is coming, you know. And this may help you to feel in a more empowered state. And this is like a, you know, because I do believe we are all kind of psychic to varying degrees, because this is just your intuition, and it's like a muscle. So the more you exercise it and listen to it, the stronger it gets. But if you kind of ignore your intuition, so let's say if you receive guidance that you shouldn't go somewhere, or that you should go somewhere, and you don't listen, it's almost like the bulb gets more dim. But as you kind of listen and follow the steps, it gets brighter and brighter and stronger. So there's also a message I want to share, is that just, you know, pay attention to your intuition, honor your intuition, and trust yourself. Let yourself expand, let yourself bloom. Don't be afraid to really show up and shine and take up space, because I just see I see this need to take up space. You know, you could be a creative, or you could just be someone who, just the kind of person who needs enough space and the right environment to really create. So this feels important to say. So for some, this may be where this travel or relocation comes in, that you maybe feel as though the thing that is actually blocked is the fact that you're not in, I mean, we're always where we need to be, but you may feel like the scenes that you want to play out cannot play out where you currently are. And this is because they're destined to play out in a different country, or in a different, you know, geographical location somewhere. And so, you know, this feels important to say. But, you know, just don't be afraid to shine bright. Don't be afraid to take up space. maybe I feel like it may be beneficial for you to really get out in nature much more and to connect with, those kind of things. I feel like this will, really help with the heart chakra. And I feel like this will also help with the breath. There's this need to really just breathe. Especially if you have a very shallow breath pattern, just go outside and breathe. Just inhale really deeply, exhale really deeply, and just take everything in. Take your environment in and really be there and be present in the moment. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. I hope this has been helpful. Comment below if you feel guided to, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, take care. Hello group number 2, welcome to your reading. So for those of you who chose the oak flower essence, then this is the reading for you. Now, typically those who are drawn to the oak flower essence are the kind of people who are very determined. They just get on with things and they keep pushing through, even if there's a lot of chaotic things going on around them. But they just keep working and working, and they won't stop until the universe comes in with something that forces them to stop. So they won't stop until they're just exhausted and they can't even go anymore. So this flower essence comes along when you need to rest, when you need to let yourself really honor those cycles, because sometimes we feel more yin, sometimes we feel more yang, and it's really important to honor these different cycles. Just like the moon, we wax and wane, we have our ups and downs, and it's important to really rest when you need to, and to not keep going and going. So this is what this one is for. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get into the messages. So let's just see why I feel guided to share. Oops, okay. So we've got, do you know what? I just love how these cards are just always so, you just always get the card that aligns with the energy. Laziness. You don't have to feel lazy just because you need to rest. You need to just really take it easy on yourself. Just don't be so hard on yourself. It's okay to have those days where you do just absolutely nothing, because the more you power through, you will then have to take even longer to rest, because you didn't rest when you really needed to. And you can be at your best when you're well rested. Right, let's see what else is there. Right, clinging to the past. I'm just gonna shuffle, and then I'll just talk about the cards. Right, so group 2, what other messages do I have for you? Let's see what the oak flower essence wants to share with you. Whoa, okay. These cards are flying out. This is quite funny. I'm going to just do one more and then we will begin. Let me straighten up these. I don't know why these cards always end up being wonky, and I just really cannot deal with all of that. Okay. And the last card is stress. Okay. Let me just straighten this thing up. Okay, that's good enough. Right. So, okay. We have laziness, clinging to the past, suppression, the creator, moment to moment, stress. So this is really perfectly in line with everything I was just saying. The more you keep powering through when you need to stop, it's just too much stress. There's too much going on. I also feel guided to say that it's also important to speak up when you need to. I'm getting the kind of story of someone who keeps powering through with things and keeps does things they don't really want to do, but then maybe gets angry about it, or gets angry at others, or something like that. But it's not good to keep things in. So even if you just journal, or if you talk to yourself, you know, even if you don't have no one to talk to, nothing is wrong with talking to yourself and just saying everything that you're annoyed about, just to make sure that it doesn't stay in and you're not kind of making yourself sick. Because as the creator of your reality, you are the one that's kind of creating everything. You know, how do you want things to go? Just really, you can write it down, you can think about it, and then get serious about this and make those necessary changes, you know. Because of course, as a strong person, you can ride any wave that comes your way, and that's great, but it is also very key to just know when to stop. Another thing, when we, you know, sometimes keep going in a certain direction, we may not realize when there comes a moment that we no longer resonate with this path we're walking down, but we just want to, you know, be in motion just for the sake of it, just to say we're being productive and just to say that things are happening. But you know, things are always happening, even when we think they're not, even when things are going slow, even when just whatever, you know, but things are always happening. So even if you do rest, even if you do nothing, behind the scenes and in the unseen realm, there's plenty of things going on. And in that time of rest, you know, you may find that you have certain epiphanies and come to certain realizations about what needs to happen next. Because if you're constantly on the go, you may miss, you know, the messages that are for you, because you know, you're just so fixated and kind of in the mode of robot, and you're not so tuned into what's happening around you and, you know, what messages are being relayed to you via other people perhaps. So that also feels important to say. But yeah, there's definitely this need to just incorporate some more fun and some more play into one's reality. It just feels like things have gotten very serious and very, you know, just super serious, and there's a need to just kind of relax and just chill and just really breathe. Because of course it's really good to be focused on, you know, your goals and these things you're trying to get to, but the thing that is meant for you isn't going to go anywhere. So really and truly, we never need to really run or rush anywhere. So even if, you know, one does take this time of rest, even if you just have a whole week of just not doing anything, the thing that's meant to align with you is still there. It's almost like, let's say you do like a click and collect. So you buy something online and you're gonna go and collect it in the store. It's gonna wait there. Like, the thing isn't going anywhere until you go and collect it. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not gonna just the package that you, let's say you bought, like, I don't know, a t-shirt or something, like, it's not gonna get up, it doesn't have legs, it's not gonna get up and start walking away. Like, it's gonna stay right there until you collect it, and it has to be you that collects it because you was the one who purchased it. So long story short, the point is, you know, I really love to use analogies because it just helps to make things make sense really clearly in the mind. But the point is, there's no need to rush, there's no need to worry and be all anxious, especially if in the past things have gone really wrong. So, like, in terms of I don't know, I just feel like there's some kind of mistake maybe that you keep beating yourself up about, some kind of situation where you feel like you dropped the ball and you just haven't been able to, like, get over this or forgive yourself for this. So forgiving self is also an important message I feel guided to share. Forgive yourself for these things of the past. It just doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. The important thing is to focus on the now, this now moment, and where you want to go next. Because even these two cards I've just noticed, they're just completely, they look similar, but the energies are totally the opposite. Because this person feels much more carefree, going from moment to moment. This person is really stressed out. They're balancing on this ball, like this kind of performing clown who's just doing too much. Clearly there's just too much. going on. There's a need to just drop a few things and maybe focus on one thing, you know, or to just like stabilize one's energy and not be going in too many directions. That I feel like things have gotten a bit confusing. And as you can see, this monkey is about to burst this bubble here, you know. So if one kind of constantly tries to avoid things going wrong, I mean, we can only do what we can do, and what is meant to unfold will unfold. So the best we can do is really just be in the moment, be present in the moment, and try to really think about what it is we do want and those things, rather than fixating on what has gone wrong in the past or the things that we don't like that are happening, and inviting more of that in. Because, you know, these two cards is overthinking to me. Really thinking about just too many things. Things that are not really helpful in any way. And this just causing headaches and insomnia, inner turmoil, all of that stuff. And there's just a need to let everything go. To just drop everything and just forget about it. To let it go and return to your sacred center. You know, you may have been creatively blocked as well, perhaps, and then this may have made you feel a bit more agitated with yourself because things were not moving forward, because you couldn't create in the way you wanted to. But sometimes we have to just stop and do nothing, and then everything comes, then the inspiration comes, then the ideas come, then we can actually hear what the universe is trying to tell us. But if we're so busy doing, there's no space for really listening, you know. So there's a need to really listen and to just forgive yourself. I also feel guided to say, to just remind you that you know, how we behave with ourselves will also mirror the way that we kind of interact with our external world as well, so other people. So, you know, are you being too hard on others? This will always be an indicator to you that you're also doing this to yourself in some way. So these mirrors are always really helpful to enable us to see where we need to kind of fine-tune our own instrument and make a few changes and tweaks to the way that we're showing up in the world and the way that we are treating our own selves. But I feel like you're doing a lot of things at the moment, focusing on many things, just really busy, very active, there's a lot. The energy feels very yang, but I feel like there's a need to really balance out the yin and the yang, and to return to one's own sacred center, one's own circle, the center of one's circle, and to just be there and to just observe everything and to watch and to allow. You know, even if everything is collapsing around you, this is okay, because you still have yourself. You are that thing in the center of the circle, that thing that cannot be disturbed, that cannot be affected by what's going on around you. You can be that steady tree that's just grounded and rooted right in your now eternal moment, and to just be there and to be strong and to just, whatever's meant to go, let it go. Whatever's meant to come, and let it come. And to just not be so swayed by everything that's happening on the outside. Yeah, that feels like a very important thing to say. But I think I'm gonna leave it there. Hopefully these messages have been helpful. If you feel guided to, please comment below, like, subscribe, take good care, and I'll see you next time. Hello group 3, welcome to your reading. So for those of you who chose Agrimony Flower Essence, then this is the reading for you. So if one is drawn to Agrimony Flower Essence, this is an indication that you may struggle to communicate your real feelings, and it may be difficult for you to open up and really share those parts of yourself, those vulnerable aspects of yourself. So Agrimony is good for helping you to open up and to really communicate in a very honest way from the heart center. Okay, so, you know, perhaps this is something that you struggle with. So let's get into the messages. So I'm just going to shuffle the deck and see what the Agrimony Flower Essence wants to share with you. Okay, so we have choice, thought, well, I'm already feeling like there's some kind of difficult conversation that needs to happen that you don't want to have, but it just feels it's almost like this volcano is bubbling. Oh, whoops. So we've got this one. Okay, so right, let's just fix these. Okay, I may have to zoom out. Let me zoom out. Okay, right, so we have choice, thought, we have knowledge, and then we have these three cards, and wisdom. This card makes me think of yin and yang, but immediately, you know, in this reading, it's like you're standing, I'm seeing this image of someone kind of standing at an intersection, wondering which way they should go, really thinking about this, and, you know, feeling a bit confused, feeling a bit, what's the word, like you're being pulled in two different directions. But there's this need to just go within, because this is where the answers will be found. Because when I look at this spread, I just see someone who is really kind of forcing something, trying really hard to make something happen, or really wanting to figure something out and get certain answers, but nothing is coming. It's like everything is blank, and this is because one needs to just be where they are and to just kind of dive into the nothingness and wait and trust that the answers will come. But yeah, I definitely feel like that, yeah, there is this this important choice and some kind of important conversation. This could even be a conversation that you need to have with your own self and really decide, okay, where the direction that I'm currently going in, does this really resonate with me? Is this what I want? You know, is this relationship what I want? Is this job what I want? Am I living in a place where I want to live? You know, does my reality align with the reality that I really want for myself, that I see and envision myself having? Because this makes me think of the World card. So it's like, you know, you have the power, the choice is yours. It's down to you which direction you want to go in. But it feels like there's this need to just kind of reflect and just take a moment to just stop and really think about what needs to change and why, and to really be honest with yourself. You know, like the Agrimony says, it's really opening up and communicating your true feelings. You know, this may be just a conversation that you need to have with yourself, whether you need to kind of purge, write about it, or talk to yourself, or just go away for a while by yourself and just see what happens. But there's this leap of faith that's required. Like you just jumping into the great unknown and not knowing if you're going to land on your feet, not knowing what is there, but still trusting that if this feels like the right thing to do, then this is what does need to be, this is what needs to unfold. Because it's almost like this card makes me think of someone living a double life. So feeling one way and living another. So let's say kind of working at this job that one doesn't like, or maybe pretending they do like the job but they don't. And that's just one example, but I'm just seeing this kind of story of double lives. So wanting things to be one way, but they're showing up in another way, and this is causing some kind of conflict from within. Because this choice card, this person is just crying. So it's like there's this internal battle that's taking place, and there's this need for just silence and seclusion and deep introspection, as opposed to kind of going outside and wanting others to tell us the answers. Actually, being quiet and just allowing, and just going into this deep cave of your own heart, your own mind, and taking a torch and seeing what's within. The guru is within. The answers can always be found within, but we must have balance. There has to be this balance. The mind has to feel balanced in order to really be the eternal witness and be receptive to these messages. We have to be in this place where we can receive them, where we're grounded and not frantic. We're just observing, just allowing, and looking at things, without being judgmental, without anything, just looking and being in the neutral position. And when one just kind of goes into that place where you're just being silent and you're being still, whether it's meditation or just sitting there and not doing anything, this is when everything comes. And I see this as you kind of realizing what is possible and what you can do, and how all of the dots connect in the perfect way. So how your behavior impacts everything in your external reality, and how the way you show up for yourself, the way that you the way that you think about things, the way that you perceive the world around you, how everything is just connected. I just see a lot of study, a lot of kind of seeking to have true knowledge of self. Because I see this as the divine union between you and yourself. Because, all of these cards is just one person in the card. And this card, although there's two faces, I see this as just the yin and the yang, which is really kind of one anyway, especially as they come together and merge. So this is all about you. There's, it doesn't feel like others are really involved in this. This is very much an inside job. This is something that no one else is coming to save you. No one else can do this work but you. Only you can have the honest conversation with yourself. Only you can take yourself from where you are to where you want to be. Only you can, the universe may deliver messages, but you have to be receptive to them. And that is down, well, you don't have to be, but if you want to hear them, you have to be receptive. So it always comes back to you, and the way that you are seeing things. And we can always make a change, but this has to come from within. No one can make us do things. It has to really come from within. So what I'm getting with this is just an honest conversation, making the choice and really sticking to it, and really trusting that if you set the intention and really align yourself with the energy, you will get there. You know, because whatever you are seeking is also seeking you. But there's a lot of kind of energy of seclusion and isolation, and really just being with one's own self and accepting who you are, accepting where you are. And for some reason, this makes me think of the planet Saturn. So, you know, I'm not sure if perhaps you have been going through a difficult Saturn transit, or you've not been fully receptive to the messages that Saturn wants to share. But you know, Saturn is a very great teacher, but we have to really surrender, because we can be like babies when it comes to Saturn. We may kind of fuss and not want to surrender and take the hand of Saturn. But once we do that, this is when the magic happens, because we are then open to being sculpted into who we are truly destined to become. Because Saturn really, you know, it shows us our boundaries, our limitations. It shows us our reality. You know, when we go too far in the realm of being unrealistic and all of that, Saturn pulls us back and says, hold on, no, this is what you think it is, but this is what it is. So this is really about seeing things for what they truly are. This could be yourself, this could be others, this could be your situation, how you really feel, and just really being honest about how you feel and letting it out, whether this is crying, writing, whatever, but just releasing. There's this release that needs to happen. Rather than thinking your feelings, there's a need to really feel them. So rather than trying to kind of intellectualize them and do all of that stuff, but just, you know, just be there and feel them. You know, there's a need to really feel and heal, to really acknowledge, to see. Because I see this as someone who kind of just wants to, maybe is very much focused on, you know, kind of trying to study their own spiritual journey, as opposed to being on it and really just experiencing it in its entirety and just going through the moments. But this person is like, this is truly this person is really walking and embodying that path. They're really doing the work. They're not writing about it, they're experiencing it, they're really doing it. So there's a need to like just surrender and go into the woods, to just go there and see what is there and have that lived experience. You know, I also see there's an importance of balancing the yin and yang energies, because I keep looking at this card. So this is really the integration of the dark and light. So rather than someone trying to be happy all the time, or to be either too much this way or too much that way, having this balance. So not demonizing the feelings that one is having and not being judgmental of oneself, but just accepting that, okay, I am this and that. I am all things. You know, I'm gonna feel like this sometimes or like that. Sometimes you may feel angry, sometimes sad, sometimes tired, whatever. We are having this human experience, and we're gonna feel, you know, a range of different things throughout this lifetime. So there's this need to really accept that, and to not be so hard on yourself, and to let yourself feel, and to release judgment. You know, because if we are judging ourselves, we're probably also judging others. You know, so there's this need to really just surrender all of that, and you just kind of come into the heart space. So to really come out of the head and come into the heart, this is where the key is. You know, this is where the magic happens, and we can really let ourselves feel. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Hopefully these messages have been helpful. Thank you for watching. If you feel guided to, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye. Hello group number 4, welcome to your reading. So for those of you who chose Star of Bethlehem, then this is the reading for you. So Star of Bethlehem, this flower essence is very good for grief and helping to neutralize those feelings, and it's almost like kind of receiving a warm hug as you're going through this, you know, going through those various stages of grief. So that's what this is about. So let's get into the reading and see what messages I have for you, or rather what messages the Star of Bethlehem flower essence has. Okay, so we have Milky Way perspective. Ooh. Okay, so already this energy feels very very mystical. Right, my battery is getting low, so I'm hoping it doesn't look out if I finish. I'm gonna do, alright, let's just do, I was gonna do 4, but this 5th card really wants to be here, so let's see. Right, so we have Milky Way, Shaman, Ancestors, let's make these even, Dawn, New Beginnings, and Music, Harmony. Okay, so now, oh gosh, this is so wonky. So already the energy feels very mystical. So although Star of Bethlehem is good for grief, you know, this can also be just helping one to grieve the death of one's own self. So as you go through, you know, your own transformation and metaphorical death, you know, there's a need for one to also be gentle with themselves as they go through those various phases, you know, because healing, transformation, all of that stuff is not for the faint-hearted. It is not an easy ride, right? But it all depends on, it really does depend on the perspective that we're going to view things from. So one can always come back to this place of self-acceptance and surrender, and to just come into this neutral space where we're just allowing and we're just letting things be what they are to be, and accepting that, you know, we all grieve in different ways. So, you know, if you're going through this difficult transformation, you know, be gentle with yourself as you go through these cycles, and there's no one way to do things. There's no one way to heal, because clearly you are, you know, connected, have a strong connection to source and your ancestors and all of that, because we have the shaman, music, you know, ancestors. I just see this as someone who is very connected and, you know, takes all of this very seriously. But when I look at this, I see someone who is stepping into a new cycle. So it's almost like an initiation, right? So you've passed one level and now you're in the next level, and there's all of these different things to deal with. Everything is different. There's different people, there are different, you know, different characters in this scene, and you're having to really adapt to this. And this may feel scary. This may feel like, you know, like you're kind of losing yourself in some way. But, you know, if you think of it, you was once, you know, a 2-year-old, and now you're however old you are now. So the point is, you're never really losing yourself as you grow. It's just shedding old skin. You know, you're just kind of, you could say you're experiencing yourself from different perspectives, we could say. So you as a baby, you as a teenager, you as an adult, etc. So it always depends on how we wish to see things. But the energy does feel very brand new. This feels like, you know, clearing clearing karma, dealing with family issues, wrapping up oh, excuse me, wrapping up old cycles, and really stepping into your power. and knowing that, you know, the energy of your ancestors is running through your veins, and that you have, you know, the ability to do all of these great things. You know, connection to music is also very important. So it seems like, you know, whether you like are into playing drums or the sound bowl, those things can also strengthen your connection to source, your connection to the ancestors, and this, you know, the cosmos in general. Because I see this as someone who's really going through deep transformation, purging, someone who is really, you know, getting to these deep levels of their own spiritual journey, you know, rather than just talking about it, someone who is actually living this thing and stepping into a new cycle. You know, this can be scary sometimes, especially if, you know, you find yourself losing old friends and losing those connections that you used to have. But sometimes, you know, as we step into these different cycles and begin to live from a different, you know, timeline, sometimes everyone can't come with us, you know. So you may be grieving the loss of those who haven't necessarily died. I don't feel like it's people that have died. I feel like it's people that have left your life, people that have dropped away. So I'm seeing this as leaves falling from a tree. So once there were loads of leaves on the tree, and now, you know, it's much more empty. So you may be feeling like, you know, you're just alone, and that it's just you by yourself, feeling very isolated and disconnected from others. But you are connected to everything. You know, the entire cosmos resides in your heart space. You know, as you breathe, you are emanating divinity. You know, you are connected to the ancestors, your family members, those who have passed, loved ones, all of that. You are connected to them. You know, music, I feel to say that music can also help to soothe your soul. You know, when you are feeling very alone and isolated, you can sing devotional songs if you're into that, chant certain mantras. There are many ways that you can experience, you know, the love that you may have felt when you were connecting with others in the physical. But you can always do this yourself, because that feeling comes from you. You know, when you are having a good time, when you're with someone, or if we travel somewhere, or all of that stuff, the feeling comes from you. It's not that place making you feel that way. It's not those people making you feel good. That feeling comes from you. So if you didn't have it within you, it wouldn't come out of you, you know. So it's important that I say to you that it all comes from you. You know, you can feel good when you want to. You can generate that love from within. You can experience that real divine love, you know, by just bathing in your own energy and really falling in love with that, falling into this ecstatic trance, and really just, I'm just seeing someone really loving themselves, loving their own company and energy, and really embracing this path, even if it does feel lonely sometimes, even if you feel like, you know, some kind of outsider, or that you are just, I see this as someone that's really disconnected from either the material plane or what everyone else is doing. I just see someone who is going their own way, not, you know, following the beaten path, someone who is going this complete other way. And people may be thinking, where are you going? What are you doing? Like, and you just may be seen as someone who is very different or eccentric, or just to me, this energy feels like the energy of a renunciate. So someone who just doesn't even want to deal with the world and these mundane things that people are focusing on, like politics or the news or whatever. This is just someone who is doing their own thing, very much living in their own. It's almost like you are living in your own ashram. Like I see someone that's in an ashram, but this is just their own home. But deeper than that, this ashram is your own heart. So it's like you've made your home into an ashram, but you also feel like you are in an ashram within your own self. And this is a very good thing, you know, in terms of spiritual advancement and coming to this place of self-realization and attaining moksha. To be able to do that is a very good thing. If you're able to feel like you know, you are already in an ashram and you are just enjoying this isolation and using that time to deepen and strengthen your connection to yourself and to the cosmos and everything around you. So not feeling as though you need to go outside for things, but you can just be right here, be right where you are, and everything can come to you. You know, I see you just having this really colorful internal realm, very kind of what's the word, having a very elaborate dream world. And just, so that's another thing I feel guided to say, keep a dream journal so that you can write down what happens in your dreams, in case, you know, because usually you may wake up and forget them straight away, but there's a few things you can do, right? So let's say if you do forget your dreams easily, don't affirm that. So say, I always remember my dreams when I wake up, and before you go to bed you can say, when I wake up I will remember my dream. And just that, you can look them up, but there's many different affirmations you can use to make sure that you are actually you know, consciously connecting to your dreams and remembering them and all of that stuff. But you can keep a notepad like right by your bed so that you can write your dream down as soon as you wake up. And it may not make sense in the moment, but you may have to refer to them maybe like a few weeks later, or you know, even just a few days later, and then you may realize what it was about. Because you may be clearing a lot in your dreams and doing a lot of, you know, shadow work, or just connecting with your ancestors and clearing timelines in your dreams. So it feels important that I tell you to really place importance on your dreams and focus on them, and don't kind of dismiss them as just dreams. But I feel like because of the energy of this reading, you may already know this anyway, so I probably don't even need to say that to you. But you know, back to the original message, this is about really grieving, letting things go, allowing the people that need to go, and trusting that, you know, as you step into this new cycle, you will be provided for and protected, and you will come into union with those that you are destined to come into union with in this new cycle. But you cannot kind of cling on to the past and those old things that need to go. There's a need to just release and allow, grieve for those old versions of yourself that are dying. You know, let the skin shed, just let it shed, let it go, and really just honor this path that you're on. I feel like doing that is you honoring your ancestors as well, is what I feel guided to say. You know, you're always connected, you're never alone. So I just see a really exciting new beginning coming, you know, the next stage of your, you know, whether you want to call it your awakening journey or your spiritual journey, but exciting things unfolding. But just there's this need to really soothe your soul, soothe your heart, as you know, do have to let certain people go, or certain environments or situations go. Because I do feel a bit of sadness within that, you know, maybe not wanting to do that, feeling reluctant about leaving people, maybe feeling guilty, feeling that you're abandoning someone or some people. But you know, ultimately, you know, this is your own journey. Everyone is just, you know, we're all going to the same place ultimately, right? Because of course we are all going to die someday, but I mean, we are all going, we're all kind of following a different path. You know, we must honor that and let ourselves flow and go where we need to go. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this here. I really don't want my battery to die, but hopefully these messages have been helpful. Like, comment, subscribe if you feel guided to, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.